think we do win. Can't really do anything more. Yep. Adios. Welcome back to MTG Foretold. Today we are looking at one of the new cards from the Marvel set, and this is all built around good old Baron Helmut Zemo here. This is probably one of my most favorite cards that I didn't even realize was in this set until it was released. I can see myself building quite a few different decks around this card, but today we are essentially making this into a Zemo Excruciator, Spider-Man, Zodiac, blah 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 deck. So, if you don't know what this card is, so he's 3 black mana, and whenever you cast a black spell from your hand, Baron Helmut Zemo connives. So connive is you draw a card, then discard a card, and if you discard a non-land card, you put a 1/1 counter on him. And then he has this amazing ability called Boast. Exile any number of black cards from your graveyard with 15 or more black mana symbols among their mana costs. Copy those exiled cards. You may cast up to 3 of the copies without paying their mana costs. So, this is a pretty insane card, honestly. I can actually see this working in a Ketramos deck as well, which I'm thinking about might try to do that next with him, just because he can exile a ton of crap all at once. You can just basically exile your entire graveyard with him, doesn't matter, as long as it's 15 or more black mana symbols. And yeah, pretty crazy card. You can get really nutty with it, and you'll see in this game like how we can just pop off with like a million excruciators on the board and Zodiac and all that nonsense. So we do have some early removal here. We have 3 Requiting Hex and 4 Bitter Triumph. This really fits into our discard because we want to discard all of these big cards here like Zodiac and Doomsday. And we also have Day of Black Sun to deal with those go wide boards, especially in the early game, while we're still just trying to get our bearings, because this is a bit of a slower deck. Yeah, we have 4 Deceit in here, mainly just because we want ways to interact early. So we can either do our tempo play with the 2 blue, or we can do the 2 black, which is usually what we're going to be going for, to mess our opponent's hands up. This is going to really just keep us alive. And we also have 4 Winter Night Stories. This is the only non-black card in the deck. We do want ways to draw into what we need, and this is one of the best cards to do it because we can discard cards as well. So just pretty much everything that we need here. And then we have 4 Superior Spider-Man. We can use this to be a regular Dimir Excruciator deck. We can be this to, get something else from our yard. Maybe we don't want to use Zemo. Maybe we're like fearful that he's going to get removed, so we rather just like cast Spider-Man and do some sort of interaction like with Deceit. So a lot of ways to work this card. We also have 1 Harvester of Misery. This is a way to also deal with early game threats, as well as fill the yard with 2 black symbols, and then also get him back if we want to do some early, essentially Withering Curse board wipe nonsense. And then, yes, I had 2 Zodiac. So this is a 5 black symbol indestructible god. And when Zodiac enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control their choice for run down. So if you have Zemo out with just Zodiac itself, that's it. For no other creatures, you actually don't have to sack anything. But if you have 3 creatures, then you do have to sack, etc., etc. And then whenever a player sacrifices another creature, you get a 1/1 counter on Zodiac. So pretty big body, indestructible, really nice. Great way to just block. We like him as a blocker, but also just to go face, and especially if it's a very wide board we're dealing with, get a lot of counters on him. And of course, Doomsday Excruciator. We got 4 of these because we want to fill up our yard as soon as possible, and that way we can do all the silly stuff. And yep, gets pretty crazy. I went a little overboard in one of the games with this, but they conceded. But yeah, could have lost it. But yeah, just gotta remember that at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card. So don't want too many of them if you don't have a Restless Reef, or if they are holding up like creature removal. And yeah, 4 Deceit, just to have those tempo plays and disrupting hands and all of the typical Dimir nonsense. We have 2 Cavernous Souls to, either protect our humans or our elementals, typically. If you have to cast Excruciator, then yeah, you can do Demon. Just really for whatever we need. And we also have 3 Restless Reef. We don't have 4, just because sometimes it can be awkward not having an untapped land, especially since we really need to get the board going quickly. So you can go 4 if you really want to, but I feel like we see enough Restless Reefs that 3 is still more than fine. But can understand if you want to go to 4 to be a typical Excruciator deck. And that's the deck. Oh yeah, so I have one of these Hidden Layers. Pretty cool card. So this is from the new Marvel set. If you haven't seen these yet, essentially it will tap for the 2 colors of that it shows, only if it entered this turn, or if you control a basic land. So this is actually some really good land cards, honestly. It makes it flexible, and yeah, as long as you can get a basic land on the battlefield, yeah, it can be really nice, and it comes untapped, which is also extra nice. But yeah, this is the deck. Really successful games I had with it. Really, the only issue we had was aggro, like major aggro. It's still a little bit hard to deal with sometimes, since you have to make sure you have all of the creature removal, and if you don't, then you pretty much die before you can get going. But that goes for a lot of these a bit slower decks, but really fun. Zemo is just such a fun card. I love the. I'm obsessed with this card, honestly. But yeah, good games to come ahead, and let's get into it. Well, we got Baron. We definitely need that, so we will keep this. All right, let's fill the yard. Let's do Deceit, that way we can check, see what's going on in his hand before we drop Baron. Well, you don't have much of a choice but to take Requiting Hex. If you don't, I'm just gonna... Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so let's do Evoke. Let's see what we've got dealing with here. Alright, just your typical crap. Exile, ugh, gross. I'm not really worried about... I think I'm gonna get rid of this, honestly. And he's going to drop Aquazoth, so we have no choice but to actually wait. Let's see, 6, 9, 11. We do have enough in the yard if we can survive, which we should be able to, but let's see what happens here. If he kills Baron, then we just do Spider-Man. Okay. Let's try it again. I mean, that's fine. We don't care about that. Alright, here we go. We need to get some good stuff here. I definitely want Excruciator. Zodiarch. Bitter Triumph. So let's do Zodiarch. And then we will get rid of... I guess we have no choice but to get rid of that. Actually, let's get rid of... Actually, let's get rid of that. Hello. Hi. Hello. Yes, you must sack stuff. Your go, actually. Like, the countdown's on you, not me. Wait, what? There you go. Okay. Yep. Requiting Hex, huh? Sure. Actually, let's do Blight. Do we have enough in the yard for anything else? Yeah, I guess we do. Let's see here. Do I just cast all the Excruciators, I guess? Doesn't really matter anyway, I'm gonna die. Where am I? I'm gonna draw it. I probably should have just done 2. If I did 2, I would have won. Oh well. Hopefully he doesn't catch it. Yeah, I got a little too happy with the Excruciators. Okay, well, he surrendered anyway. That was my bad, but yeah. Okay, Winter Night Stories, Deceit, Bitter Triumph. I mean, it looks pretty good. 2 Deceits? Okay, sure. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, 3 Deceits? Sure, why not? You know what? I'm not even mad about it. Deceit's one of the few cards where I don't mind getting multiples of. Okay, so we got a burn deck here. Yuck. Don't want that. We can't have him destroying our blues. We need that stuff. And of course he still gets one. Oh my god, of course. That's fine. Well, we gotta do elemental, I guess. Actually, no, we can do human. We have enough black to cast Deceit Evoke, so... Don't say Restless Reef. You're gonna say it, though, I know it. Okay, it does nothing, but sure. Alright, come on, thank you. Boros Control, Boros Land Destruction. I don't really care about anything else. Well, actually, no, that's true. I do care about that, but let's get rid of that. Okay. That's fine, whatever. We got plenty of black anyway, so whatever. Anything else? Okay. No, he's gonna kill my Baron with his Burst Lightnings and Braids and everything, so... Baron's pretty useless in this game, to be quite honest. Might as well get rid of... that, Basically, I'm going to try to hopefully have the Bailmerk survive as long as possible, so we'll see. Yep. Yeah, that's a pretty good pull, actually. Let's just get rid of Excruciator. And then he's gonna kill my Bailmerk with a Road. Which is fine by me. Oh, he's actually gonna do that? Alright, sure. Huh. I mean, isn't he a burn deck? Like, he just got rid of all his burn spells, but okay. I'm gonna do this so he can waste his, Erode. Because I don't want Baron to die. Yeah, we'll take Spider-Man here. Yeah, I'll take another black, sure. Tabletto. Well, you can do a nice burst lightning to my face. That's fine by me. Wait, what? Huh? I'm so confused. Why would he do that? That's kind of funny. Do I really care? I think I'm actually going to do another Bailmerk. I want to fill the yard as much as possible. I'm going to take another Spider-Man. And then we'll do Baron. And if he kills Baron, then I will just do a Superior Spider-Man. Okay. Okay, sure. Mm-hmm. We good now? This is human, right? Alright. Let us bounce Thor back and see what he's got going on. Alright, so get rid of that. Okay. And then we got Baron. How much more you got? Okay. We're in good top deck, that's for sure. And I'll cast Baron again. We good yet? Okay. Jeez, that took long enough. It's actually a decent hand as long as we get the stuff we need, but we don't have a way to fill up the yard, which is a little concerning. Not exciting, but we'll keep it and hope that we draw on the stuff that we need. Probably should have actually just... Yep, I figured. Could have used a Requiting Hex here, now I'm a turn behind, unfortunately. Oh, that's fine, I guess. Don't think I need lands right now. Okay. The question is, do I just cast it now? I think I do, honestly. I'm just gonna get rid of everything off the board here. Slow him down as best as possible. Interesting. He doesn't have anything else, huh? Okie dokie then. You know what? We'll keep that because obviously he's going to be doing that a lot. He doesn't have any lands. Okay then. I mean, sure. And so we gotta do a Requiting Hex on him. Just kill everything that you see. And we do have Harvester of Misery as well that we can discard. Okay, so probably War Leader's Call, I assume, in the hand, right? Get rid of Shocking Sharpshooter. Okay then. We will cast Overlord of the Belmerk next turn. Hope he didn't get something to kill my guy. You got a top deck for something? Hello? Nothing? Okay. If he attacks it, I'm going to assume he has like a burst lightning, so I'm not going to actually block. Is he going to attack? He's thinking about it. Okay, doesn't attack, cool. Let us do this. Let's get rid of Voice of Victory then. Kinda need a land, actually. We'll do Harvester as well. Let's see, we have 1, 3, 9, 11, 12. Alright, well, there we go. We have Overlord. I think we keep that. That's pretty important here. And Day of Black Sun is going to be very useful. Now the question is, I think we actually may have to hold up. Because we need to survive, so... We will just get rid of that, because we can get rid of the 2 higher claws next turn. Let's just do that now. We need to survive. We do have Bitter Triumph to deal with 1 more creature. Are we calm for the moment? Can I do some other stuff? I cannot. Huh. Well, that's annoying. I guess we can just do Deceit. Now, at this point, we want to do... some tempo plays here. Okay. Pretty rude of you, but sure. I need to not die. 2, 8, 10, 11. I do have enough. Let's see what it does. Not blocking. I assume he has a Burst Lightning in his hand. If he does, then we probably lose anyway, but hey. Alright, let's see what we can do here. We just gotta do everything anyway. Zodiac, Excruciator. I guess we can just do that, right? Actually, hold on a second. Never mind. Yeah, let's see what he does. If he has a burst lightning in hand, we're dead anyway. Yeah, shock, cool. Love that, fun. It's actually not a bad hand. I guess we keep it and see what happens. Feels bad that we don't have any Deceit or Winter Night Stories. Well, we don't have Blue anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but well, we'll see what happens. At least we can survive early game with a couple things. You know, it's gonna be a creature deck, right? I just have that feeling it's gonna be a creature deck. Okay, that took forever. Well, we have just enough pips if we get both Excruciators in the yard with everything else. We are at one more pip needed to activate Baron. Baron Helmut Zemo. Oh my god, why is this guy so slow? Come on. And of course, it's going to be counterspells up the wazoo. Alright, to get rid of his counterspells, we're going to start doing Deceits. I need to make sure Baron is safe. Or at least try to start getting rid of his counterspells. We gotta counterspell it. Normalize. 3 steps in. Okay. That means he doesn't have a normalize because he would have done that so it's not in the yard. At least that's what my assumption would be, but... Huh. Scryland? Interesting. Who scries anymore? The awkwardness of this is we actually may have to cast the other Baron so we can put Doomsday in the yard. Because we don't have any interactive block spells against this deck. We only have creature removal, really. Because this deck needs to survive against creatures. And control matchups aren't too bad. Oh boy. Thank you. Yep. Oddly enough, I want this guy to cast Jeskai Revelations, like, please. That'd be great. How many more you got? Oh boy. Thank you. Another get lost, huh? Okay. Might as well sack that eventually. Let's see what he does here, actually. He's gonna have to counter this, isn't he? You get what you needed? I got another Doomsday in the yard, so... I mean, not in the yard, in my hand, I should say. Not the best pull. Could have been a lot worse. But if we get improvisation capstone, he basically loses. Because that's gonna he won't cast it anymore anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Anywho, let's see what happens. Go ahead, cast it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Elemental. You're going to do Jeskai Revelation? Okay. Bro, you sure about that? I mean, sure. You're out two cards in your hand, so... In fact, I might just do Deceit, and then just enough to look into his hand. Because Restless Reef can end this game. He's still getting everything he needs, isn't he? Ooh, that's actually a really good pull. Okay. So, let's hit his hand. You can't counter, so yeah. Get rid of that. And I think we win, right? I think we do win. Can't really do anything more. Yep. Adios. This is interesting. We'll keep it, see what happens. Well, at least we got Requiting X. And here comes the cub. They always have the elf and the cub in their first hand. Oh. That's surprising for once. Well, he's got another elf then. Probably an elf and a cub in his hand. Oh. Huh. Well, we need to do this so we can cast Baron. Ouroboreed? He already has an Ouroboreed, that's all he's holding up for now. Oh, Sapling Nursery, okay. What do we do here? I know this is weird, but I'm actually going to do that, probably. Actually, no, we can just probably use Bitter Triumph on a land or whatever. I mean, not a land, but one of those stupid tokens. Okay. Sure. Oh, wow, okay. Actually pretty sweet. Alright. We need one more pip. Okay then. Well, actually that works. Wait, can we do this when we attack? I don't care. I'm just gonna do this now. Alright, let's see. Harvest of Misery. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? I'll cast Harvester and all the Excruciators. Alright, then we got Restless Reef. To the face. What? He does realize he's gonna die, right? I guess this is just his way of surrendering. I don't know, actually. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As you see, this is a really fun spin on the Excruciator deck. Zemo is just one hell of a card, in my opinion. Kudos to whoever designed him. Really unique card, really fun. Can see this performing in Historic even, like just essentially a nice spin on the graveyard stuff that we've been dealing with. And I think he's a little bit more flexible than the 3 black mana symbols give him, and like his Boast ability. Essentially, as long as you're dealing with cards that have black mana symbols, I mean, he can still pop off late game and just end games himself. So just keep that in mind. And I know this is. I think some other creators have done similar styles with Zemo already. I made this deck myself before I even knew. I haven't looked honestly into any content creators playing Marvel because I wanted to go into it blind, if I'm being honest, and just kind of like mess around with stuff. But I'm sure we're going to be seeing Zemo more in leagues and tournaments once since the set is coming out as of today, which is Friday the 26th, officially for paper. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff like this soon enough. But yeah, really fun. And I'll have a link description of my version below at Moxfield as usual, and I will see you in the next video.